Hi, and welcome to the Loan Officer Team Training Podcast. My name is Irene Duford, and I am your host today. And today we're going to talk about a little bit about having the right expectations with your team and mapping them out. So there is a document that we use called the WOW Service Time Expectations. And the reason we have that is because we want to teach people how important it is to be on the same page. And since you're a loan officer, most likely listening to this today, or even if you're not, you could use this same concept in any business that you have. So right now, I'm going to kind of go through the preliminary thing that we discussed with the loan partners in the training. And that is know what your task is and know what the expected time frame to complete is. So as a loan partner, they might think that the time frame expectation is one thing, and you as the loan officer, as their supervisor, as their boss, you may have a different time frame that you think it is. And so we need to put you on the same page, and this is how it's done. You map out on paper very clearly what the time frame expectations are. On the left side, it's the task. On the right side, it's the expected time frame to complete it. So in other words, let's give you an example. If there's someone calls in, they're a lead and they're calling in for a pre-qualification, what is the expected time frame in your mind as an LO, as the leader of the team, for them to get back to that person? Is it 5 minutes? Is it 15 minutes? Is it a half hour? Is it same day? Is it next day? What is it? And does your team know what that time frame is? For another example, when a client is going to be told yes or no, like let's say you have a consultation, and do you tell them right there during the consultation that they don't qualify? Or do you get their documentation and say, we're going to go through everything and call you back? And if so, when do you call them back? What is the time frame to get that done? So this is what a system and a process is. Many of you already have this in process, and you may not even need this podcast today, but it's really good for people who don't have a system set up yet. It's so important that your team knows what is up here in your head as far as expectation goes. And it needs to be clearly defined and written out so that they can see it on a daily basis, have it in front of them. Another example, once the contract is in and loan disclosures need to be requested, even though they give you 3 days to disclose on the loan, is it within 24 hours that you want those disclosed? Is it 1 day? Is it 2 days? Do you have the whole 3 days to do it? What is your time frame expectation as a loan officer? And have you clearly communicated that to your loan partner or the people on your team? Another example, getting initial disclosures signed by the clients, including the in-person signings. Is that done within 24 hours? Is it done within 12 hours? Is it done the same day, the next day? What is the time frame expectation? That's number one, is the time frame expectations. Those are just some examples of what needs to be clearly defined to your team. And first to yourself, like sit down and write it out. What are my expectations? And are they realistic expectations? Like, is it possible with the expectations? Like if you say, oh, you got to get to that in 5 minutes. Well, somebody that has a bunch on their plate may not be able to get to something in 5 minutes, but someone who needs to get to something in 5 minutes, you're going to put things on their plate that are going to allow them to have that time frame. So it's really important that you map out, that you first know what your time frames are, and then you map it out and write it out and discuss it with your team. Maybe your team has a different idea, and so you have to come together and come up with it. But it's your choice as a loan officer. You get to decide. This is your team. And then they get to do what you expect from them, but only if it's clearly defined. If it's not clearly defined, it's going to be really difficult for them to remember to do it. Are you holding off on training your loan partners, your loan assistants, your team members and support staff on how to wow your clients? Are they getting that kind of training from you? You probably plan on training them, if you get a few extra hours, but when does that happen realistically? And meanwhile, your team is doing the best they can with the information that they have. But this kind of training really doesn't exist anywhere else. When you do the training, that means you're not as responsive as you want to be with your clients, and you're not hitting your closing and income goals as a loan officer. So how much is it costing you to not have a team that's properly trained how to wow clients and referral partners so that they only want to work with you because of the great experience that they're getting? We teach them how to use efficient step-by-step processes and systems that work, how to follow up so nothing falls through the cracks and loans close on time and even early, how to build wonderful relationships with clients, how to wow people so they go, man, that was an amazing experience. The members of his or her team are amazing. They're so on it. How to use scripts and dialogues for winning clients, setting expectations, and communicating with clients so that you can prevent problems down the road. How to handle difficult clients, how to make clients feel appreciated and valued, and how to handle and overcome objections. It might be time to ask for some help. That's why we're here. Loan Team Training has our next live WOW training coming up. We train your team for you so you can focus on closing loans. Our next WOW training begins August 3rd, 2023. Our sessions are from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Pacific time for Thursday, August 3rd, Friday, August 4th, Thursday, August 10th, and Friday, August 11th. Check it out at loanteamtraining.com for our next class and see how many 5-star reviews we have from past WOW training participants and their loan officers who sent them at loanteamtrainingreviews.com. Remember, it's an interactive virtual training with live trainers, and we train any of your support staff that is communicating with clients and referral partners. Check us out and sign your loan partner or team member up at loanteamtraining.com. So we have a document in the WOW training that we give the people in the class, and we tell them, go back to your loan officer and discuss this with them. It's called the WOW Standards of Tracking the Loan Process, and it's an example. So we ask them, what is the task? Who's responsible for that task on the team? What's the time frame deadline to complete that task once it's on your plate? And what's the follow-up date once you receive the task and once it's completed? After you, because you're never done with the task until there's a follow-up date in the system to remind you what the next step is. Whether that's in your CRM, automated or non-automated, it goes in your calendar. And so we go over these things with them, and we go through every step of the loan process and ask them, who's responsible for that task? What's the time frame deadline to complete it? And what's the follow-up date after that? If you'd like a copy of that, I'd be happy to share it with you. If you want to let us know, go to loanteamtraining.com and send us a message, and we'll be happy to discuss that with you and share it with you. But think about it. At the beginning, you have the client's name, the loan amount, what they're trying to do. And then once they give you the loan and say, yes, you're my gal, you're my guy, we're going to do this loan together. Then you go through every single step. And this document that I have has every step that I could think of in the loan process. And it's been refined over time. And so you just say, okay, so once I qualify the buyer and I've asked for documentation, what's the time frame to get that done, to get the documentation back in? What's the follow-up date? And that's how you do it. You just go step by step and you create, here's the task, who's responsible, what's the deadline to get it done, and what's the follow-up date once it's done. And so you go through the whole thing from beginning to end of the loan, and even after the loan, because there's always a follow-up date after the loan as well, after it's closed. I have seen this document work for thousands of loan officers. And in our training, we're teaching the loan partner or the team member, the marketing, whoever you send to our WOW training, anybody who talks to the client, who communicates by email, by text message, by phone calls to the client, needs to go to the WOW training, because this is just one of the many things that we teach, but it puts them on the same page as you by going through this document and then taking it back to you after and going through it with them. Now, I have to admit, there's a lot of loan officers that have gotten this document, that have sent their person to the training, and they didn't complete this document. I hope you're not one of them. There are many loan officers that have gotten the document and have sat down with their team and have put it together, and it has made a huge difference for them. I hope you're one of them. So I just want to let you know that we are here for you as a training company. I'm here for you as a coach. I just want you to know that you can do this, that no matter how overwhelmed you are, no matter how many loan partners you've been through, and you're thinking, man, I don't have the right one. A lot of times it's not that you haven't found the right one. It's that you haven't put them on the same page as you, the way you want things done. And it needs to be clarified in writing as well. My suggestion is that you find a loan partner that is amazing. They have the right way of looking at things. They have the right values. They are friendly. They get the job done. They know what they're doing. They know the loan business. They have experience. But even with the people that have experience, they still come to the WOW training. I've had people in the WOW training that have been in the business for 15, 20 years, and they still get something out of the WOW training. Some great things. They also contribute, which is really great. It's a place where the loan partners and the team members can come together and discuss. They normally don't have the ability to do that because it's all within their own company normally. But this allows them to discuss best practices with other loan partners and people in the same business as them, in the same roles as they are. And going through systems and processes is one of the most impactful things in our WOW training, because it helps them to see how important it is. And you know what? Some of them come and they already have this in place. It's awesome. But some of them don't. Which one are you? Which loan officer are you? Are you the one that has put this in place already, or are you the one that hasn't? Either way, this is a really good exercise for your loan partners, and to bring it out, revamp it. Is there adjustments that need to be made because of things that have happened in the market, the timeframes, the way the underwriters work, the way, all the guidelines have changed, anything, revise it once in a while if you do have it. And if not, I'm happy to share it with you. Go to loanteamtraining.com and send us a message. I hope this has been helpful to you. This is just one little thing of the many, many things that we teach in the WOW training. And we want you as a loan officer to get a peek into what we do in the training as well. So if we can help you at all, please reach out to us at 480-550-8696, or go to Irene and Kevin at Loan Team Training, and we will be happy to help you. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope your team goes to bat for you and owns their part of the process. And I'm here for you if you need anything at all. So enjoy your day, my friends. Thank you for being here today. It really means a lot that you took time to be here, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're on your favorite podcast station. But could you do me a favor? If you got value out of this today, would you be willing to leave us a good review on your favorite podcast station? Leave us a message on YouTube. Leave us a Google review even at loanteamtrainingreviews.com about the podcast. That would be awesome. I would really appreciate that. We do these podcasts for you so that I give you value. I give you something to think about, and hopefully motivate you to really work with your team or build a team. Either one, be ready to build a team or to work with your team. That's what I'm all about, is helping you. I want to help you in every way I can. So I would really appreciate you doing that for us. Have a great day.